Sometimes computers don't have CD drives required to install Windows. This IBM ThinkPad T22 is one of them. It came with Windows 2000, but I installed Windows XP onto it. How, you may be asking? Well, herein lies the problem. This computer has no CD drive and predates USB installation, seemingly left with no options to install Windows XP. However, tucked away on the back of this machine is a lone Ethernet port. What many do not know is that this single port opens the door for OS installation via a thing known as PXE booting. In simple terms, PXE booting is essentially booting a computer off of another computer over a network, provided the client computer has a compatible boot ROM to do so. But past this, there have been two main ways to install Windows over a network. The first way Microsoft introduced with Windows 2000 was called Remote Installation Services, or RIS. The downside to this, however, is it basically expects you to be in a domain environment, when in my case, I am not. Using the official Microsoft RIS is annoying, as it requires an old copy of Windows Server, and therefore, old hardware, with the last version of Windows Server to support this being Windows Server 2003 Spec 1. All newer versions of the Windows Server only support what's called Windows Deployment Services, which is used to install Windows Vista and later remotely. Windows XP, however, does not support WDS at all, leading to the problem here. How to install Windows XP over the network without using Windows Server 2003? Fortunately, I have found a solution that works on Windows 10 and without much trickery. For this to work, you will need a system running modern Windows. We will be using Windows 10. You also need a functioning network and a copy of Windows XP or a copy of all the files from the Windows XP CD. Administrator access may be required to make the SMV shares later on. Now, the program that will make the magic work is called Serva. Serva is a PXE boot server for modern Windows, which works mostly right out of the box and allows you to install versions of Windows that rely on RIS to install with ease. Setting up Serva itself is really easy. First, go to the website and download the little zip file that has the program inside of it and extract it somewhere. In my case, I have a random folder on my spare hard drive I'm going to be placing it in. Then, make a folder somewhere that Serva will have permission to access. This will act as the holding place for all the Windows installation files. You still have that Windows XP CD, right? You're going to need it now. Insert the CD into your computer and go to the folder you made a moment ago. Inside this folder, make another folder called WIA_RIS. And inside that folder, make another one called Windows XP. If you haven't figured out by now, we will be copying all of the Windows XP CD files into this folder. So start the copy operation and wait for it to finish. For the next part, I'm going to assume you already have a DHCP server running at your home. The one built into every single router will work fine without adjustments. Server includes an option for using a pre-existing DHCP server for network booting, which will greatly simplify the process. Please do note that you will have to enable null session shares in Windows for this to work. Also, depending on your build of Windows 10, installation of SMB version 1 may be required. The description contains a link on how to enable both of these. Now we must configure Serva. Open up the program for your computer type, or just Serva 32 if you don't know, and then wait the 7 seconds or so for the left button that's grayed out to become clickable. Once you click it, the main Serva interface will open. Click the upper left corner of the window to open the drop-down menu. Once here, click on Settings. This will open the settings, within which we need to change a few of them. At the top of the Settings window, click the DHCP tab, and then tick the box for Proxy DHCP and Bin L. Both of these are needed for booting. Then, click the TFTP tab, and tick the box for TFTP server. Then, where it says TFTP server root directory, browse to the folder where you made the WIA_RIS folder earlier. Click OK, and then restart Serva. We are almost ready to install Windows XP. The final thing we need to do before we can install Windows XP is make a network share for housing the files. Go into the folder you set as the TFTP root directory and right-click in a blank spot and click Properties. From there, click the Sharing tab and click the Advanced Sharing button. In a new window that comes up, tick the Share This Folder box, then change the share name to WIA_RIS_share. After that, click the Permissions button. If any users are listed, delete them. Then click Add. In the window that comes up, type Guest and click OK. Ensure the only permission box checked for Guest is Read. Then click Apply and OK. Then click OK until all of the windows close. Now, it is finally time to install Windows XP. As mentioned earlier, you will need a client PC for compatible PXE boot ROM. You will also need an Ethernet cable to connect the client to the network with. As far as I know, PXE boot clients do not work over Wi-Fi, so you must hardwire into your network. So now we're on the client PC, and all we have to do is we have to select the network boot mode.
and it will start trying to search, and it will find it, and then we just select our option, in this case Windows XP, and we press enter, and then shortly setup will start. And if you have everything right, it'll just work. So I'm gonna let this record the entirety of the setup process, and then I'll put it in a time lapse in the video. So see you guys when this is done, I guess. All we have to do here is redo our partition information. So we're gonna just clean install Windows over this. So we're going to quick format as NTFS, and then the process will proceed as it should. Okay, so it's been a couple of minutes, and now we're presented with some things we have to interact with. So we're just gonna click through these here. So next, we have to read the license agreement. I accept the license agreement. And wait, is that all it wanted? Is that actually all it wanted? I think that's all it wanted. Wow, that's kind of annoying. Okay, so we have a couple more tick boxes we can mostly leave as is. So, okay, and we have to type a name, an organization, and then just click next. Elf. We need a product key. So, we'll be back after I get the product key for this. Hang on. Alright, so I put in my product key and it worked. So now we just gotta give the computer a name. So, ThinkPad will do fine. And then as soon as I can find a little nub, here it is, we can hit next. And pick my time zone. That is not correct, but I can't be bothered to fix it. Now we can just let it finish. And it no longer needs any user input from us, so we could just let it go. So it just needs a little bit more of input apparently. All you have to do is make it join work group. Work group. There. And we can just so it's been a long time, and now we are at the XP setup thing. So we can just scroll through the options, which will probably take a little bit because we're only on a Pentium 3. So I don't want updates. Next. I don't care. Skip. I don't want to check my internet connectivity right now. No, I don't want to register with Microsoft. Next. To our username. Put in my name. And we wait a little bit for this thing to finish. Thank you. And we hit finish. Then in a little bit, we should be booted into Windows XP, installed diskless. So no disks. Alright, so well, as you can see, after a stupidly long time of waiting, we have Windows XP fully up and running on this IBM ThinkPad T22. Installed diskless. So we can bring up the properties. As you can see, this is our system that we have installed Windows XP on. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. I hope you found some use out of this tutorial or whatever this video is. And see you guys later.